the one thing I will never forget, the judge asked NayVee if she wanted us to adopt her. She was so cute. So he asked her, like, do you want to be adopted by this family? And she just put her little hand right here on her chest, and she just started crying, like with this gut deep, like cute cry. Oh, and she goes, yes, because I finally feel safe. And oh my gosh, whoa, there was not a dry eye in the entire courtroom. Not even the judge had a dry eye. And NayVee's crying now too.
Yeah, get busy, get busy. Everybody get busy. I need y'all to report to the dance floor right this minute.
Not Enough Nelsons. Today we are going to talk about how I found NayVee. And I really should have Benji here during these, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
He should probably be saying his point of view. But again, he's at work right now and we're filming, and so I'm gonna have to have him do a whole series of how he feels about everything, because he has a lot of really precious memories with our kiddos as well, especially with this kiddo. And I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. For the first 10 years of your life, what did we call you?
Baby girl.
Baby girl. It just started when she was brought to us. She was so cute. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna put pictures here because she was so dang cute. I just couldn't stop staring at her. I would literally go through like a grocery store and people would stop, literally stop and say, oh my gosh, your baby is so beautiful. And I was like, I know, she's so sweet. And I don't know why, but we just started calling her Baby Girl. I think we started singing that Baby Shark song to her, but then we started singing Baby Girl, and it stuck. And from then on out, all of our sisters and brothers and all of us, we all called her Baby Girl. So eventually, we had to stop calling her that after, I think you were like, what, 10?
Yeah, like 10. Yeah, it was that.
Yeah, it was that. And eventually she told us what? Tell us the story. Like,
so like it got really embarrassing because like at school they would call me that. I'm like, no, and then so we just decided to change my name.
Like her brothers and sisters would say, hey, Baby Girl, and then like her friends and people started catching on and calling her Baby Girl. And she's like, hey, I don't want my real name to be Baby Girl.
I know.
That's just for mom. So sometimes I still call her Baby Girl, and that's okay, right? I can call her Baby Girl sometimes because she'll always be my baby girl. She's so cute. So, backing up, this is kind of a complicated story, isn't it? Yes. I would say this is probably the most complicated story of back and forth of all of the kids that we have adopted. So, I have to back all the way up to when NayVee was, how old were you when you very first came? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
She was 2 months old. And
wow.
Teeny tiny, and she was so cute. So when she first came to our home, they brought her in and they just left her with me, and it was just kind of like really super crazy to me because there this was, this beautiful little baby girl that I needed to take care of and love, and it was kind of surreal. She was just so beautiful and perfect, and I don't know, I was just kind of blown away at the responsibility of caring for this sweet baby. So they brought her in, and I remember giving her her first bath. She had what's called, what I've been told is called meth hands, which means if she's been around methamphetamines, a baby a lot of times will clench their hands so tight and they'll have a really hard time opening them. So I just noticed her little hands were clenched so tight. This is kind of sad. It's kind of sad. Do you think it's sad?
Yeah.
It's really sad. And it's hard to believe it's you, right? So it kind of feels probably like to you like I'm talking about another baby.
Yeah.
Right? But her hands were so clenched tight and I had a really hard time opening them to wash inside of them. And so I ended up calling the caseworker and saying, why does she have these so tight clenched hands? And they told me that was from methamphetamines in her system. And so I had found out kind of the story and where she was found, and without going into too much detail, she was in a hotel room, in a bathroom. The reason I tell you that is because it will kind of explain why a certain moment touched my heart so much. But so fast forwarding a few months, I got to the point, I know she doesn't remember this, but because I had massaged her hands back when she was very first come to our family and kind of just massaged out just the anxiousness she had in them, that became kind of a cute thing that she would always do. Isn't that cute? It's so cute. Can you imagine Ledger walking up to you like this and saying,
no, I couldn't.
Like that's what you would do. and I would just rub her little hands, and it became such a cute little thing for us. But one time when we were sitting, I was laying down and watching a show, and on came a commercial which had Sarah McLachlan singing In the Arms of an Angel. And I started singing to NayVee, and I was singing to her, and of course I sounded beautiful because Sarah McLachlan was my backup singer. And so I sounded super beautiful. And she just was looking at me like, this is the look on her face, I can't even describe it. That baby, she was looking at me like I was an angel. So as I was singing these words to her, the lyrics really hit me. It said, in the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you fear. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. And just looking into her eyes, it was like our souls just connected at that moment. And I was like rubbing her little hands, because she would just go like this, and she would go like this with her little tiny hands. And so I would just rub her little hands, and she just looked at me, and that became our song, right? Our connector song. We definitely bonded in that moment. And you guys, it was really, really hard, but her birth mom started doing really good and had gone through all of the things that she needed to go through to prove that she was ready to have NayVee back. And that was a super hard time, because we'd have to bring her to go visit with her mom, and you have to remember that NayVee had been with us like the whole first year of her life, so she didn't even really remember her birth mom. I'm sure her heart did, but it felt scary to her to go back and forth. And even at that young age, she would like scream and cry and pull onto my shirt, and anyway, it was so hard to have her go back and forth. And so we were doing visits and daily visits until finally it was time, like just a few days later, it was going to be time to bring her to her mom for good. And so I was really, really struggling, to say the least. And a dear friend of mine brought me over this book, and it was just a really small book, short little book, and it talked about a teenager. I won't ruin the whole thing, but it talked about a teenager who got pregnant, and she was giving up her baby for adoption, and she went to the adoptive family's house to like live the last week before she gave birth to the baby. And during that week, she would do like sweet things like look out the window and think, oh, my little baby gets to live here and run around in this backyard, and she gets to sit in this room and sit on this window seat. And she just had all these thoughts about her unborn baby and what a wonderful life that baby would have. And then it turned out that she ended up having a stillborn baby. And as she was packing her things, the mom came in, the adoptive mom came in and put her arm around her and said, in this 1 week, we have fallen in love with you, and we would like to adopt you. Something just inside my mind just kind of clicked, and suddenly I just found so much love for NayVee's birth mom. And so I just decided then and there that I would love her with all of my heart and help her however I could, and in a way maybe adopt her in some small form into our family. And so that's exactly what it did, and that was so healing. Like any moms that are out there that are having to, you know, give back their foster child to their birth mom and help reunify them, that is your saving grace. Find love for the birth family. Find true, authentic love for the birth mom, and wrap your arms, even if you can't physically do it, wrap your heart around her and try to cheer her on and bettering her life. And that's exactly what I did. And you guys, that helped me so much. And so NayVee went back to her birth mom, and we were loving her birth mom. And in fact, we tried to help her mom find a job, and we tried to just help her any way we could. I would even take her to lunch sometimes, and her mom was just a sweetheart, and she let us babysit NayVee whenever she needed a babysitter. And then I actually started doing childcare because of NayVee, and so she started bringing her to me for childcare, and it just was really wonderful. And so sadly, 3 years later, what happened?
My birth mom relapsed.
Yeah, her birth mom relapsed. And so thankfully, the foster care system allowed us to have her again, and we had her again from age 3 to 4 and loved every minute of it. But in my heart, I knew that her mom was going to work hard to get her back. And so we kept a good relationship with her birth mom, and she ended up giving birth to NayVee's half-sister at that time, which was really cool. And then she ended up getting NayVee back, and we were so happy for her that she had gone through it again, because a lot of times it would be hard not to just give up in her case and give in to the addiction, but she so bad wanted to get her life straight and to raise her 2 girls, and we were just hoping the best for her. And so she went back, and meanwhile we still got to love on NayVee. She still brought her for sleepovers, we still got to watch her all the time, and it was wonderful. Then finally, I think you were how old, like
6.5.
Like 6.5 or
Yeah.
so. At about 6.5, her mom was struggling and some things happened, and she had us start babysitting her, but instead of just for like 1 or 2 days or a weekend, it turned into like 6 weeks and 2 months. So NayVee was like 6.5, 7. That was really hard because she could talk about how she was feeling. And how were you feeling at the time? Do you remember?
I was old enough that I knew that I wasn't feeling safe.
While you were there?
Yeah.
Do you remember that you would cry and like not want us to drop you off and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few times that were really, really hard that NayVee would jump in the back seat, or she would try to get away, or she would just, I don't know, just scream and cry. And that wasn't NayVee at all. Like NayVee normally was always very calm and sweet, but she didn't feel safe and she would cry, and it was really, really, really hard. And it got to the point where it was just too hard. And her birth mom, I think, feeling and understanding that NayVee's feelings needed to come first at this point, I think she realized that it was just too detrimental for NayVee to go back and forth like that, and that NayVee didn't feel safe. And there was a reason she didn't feel safe, because her mom had relapsed again. And so it was just it was so hard and such a sad and hard time. But NayVee was left with us for about 2 years. So there was a time we actually ran into her birth mom. I don't think her birth mom saw NayVee, but NayVee saw her birth mom. Do you remember that?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
So when NayVee saw her birth mom, it scared her because she just didn't know, like, she didn't have permanency. She didn't know for sure that like someone couldn't just swoop in and take her out because they wanted to take her out or whatever. And so she ran to me and looked so afraid and said, "What should we do? What should we do?" And so I just ended up leaving the store we were at, and I just decided it was time to give her some permanency and time to make the adoption official, and that it was time to adopt her. And so we called the state and told her that we'd had her for several years and it was time to make this official, so that NayVee could feel a sense of just calm and safety, knowing that she'd be part of our family forever. And so we started that process. It took about a year. Took a long time, huh?
Yeah.
And you guys, I can't even tell you, the day that we were adopting NayVee, it's so special to me. And because every child we've adopted has been very special. But I just want to say, NayVee at 11 years old, she really understood, I don't know, the hugeness of the event. She understood what it felt like to not be safe, and then what it felt like to be safe. She understood what it meant to be adopted, and she was just the sweetest. So we were driving, I'm sharing a lot of stories about you. So we were driving to go to the courthouse to adopt NayVee. And I kid you not, there was 2 songs that were NayVee's songs. One I've already told you about, which is The Arms of an Angel, but there was another song that kind of like right during the time that we were bringing her back and forth to her mom at about 6.5 or 7, I had volunteered to go with NayVee on one of her field trips. And there was a song in the bus that was playing, and me and her were just dancing and having this good time, and she just looked so free of all this stress. And so I just took a total heart picture at that moment, because she was just dancing. And how does it go? It's something like, I had a dream so big and loud, so high I touched the ground. Whoa. Anyway, you know that song. I am not a good singer. But we were just singing it and having a ball, and it was just brought all these big memories. And so, I kid you not, we were driving to the courthouse and that song comes on the radio, right? And I was like, NayVee, this is our song from the bus. And all the kids in the car were like jamming out and having fun. And I turn around, and even though she had a smile on her face, she literally had tears. Do you remember that? Oh, it's gonna make me cry. She had tears coming down her face, even with this big, bright song. And anyway, it was so touching. And so after that song was over, I found the Arms of an Angel song, and we played that as we drove up, and it just made everything come full circle. Everything we had been through with this sweet girl, and everything that we were just finishing and coming to the end of all the stress, and could just enjoy each other and enjoy our family and the love that we had. And it was just a beautiful moment. And so we went in there, and the one thing I will never forget, the judge asked NayVee if she wanted us to adopt her. And it was just so cute, and I don't even know that you remember. Do you remember any of this? I'm just bawling. But she was so cute. So he asked her, like, do you want to be adopted by this family? And she just put her little hand right here on her chest, and she just started crying, like with this gut deep, like cute cry. Oh, And she goes, yes, because I finally feel safe. And oh my gosh, whoa, there was not a dry eye in the entire courtroom. Not even the judge had a dry eye. And NayVee's crying now too. It was just the cutest moment ever. And I am so grateful that we were able to make NayVee a part of our forever family. We love her with all of our heart, and we will for all eternity. Oh gosh, that is a really hard story to tell. But I have to tell those birth moms out there who have, you know, I don't want to say have lost kids to family services, but their lives have been to a point where it just wasn't safe for them anymore. We love you, birth moms out there. I want to tell you that as an adopted mom, I want to tell anybody out there that has had to, you know, that addiction is just overpowered or whatever has overpowered, that they've had to give kids up for adoption. I love you and we love you, right? And we hope wonderful things for all of you out there. All of you birth moms, I know certainly all of the birth moms of my sweet babies, I just hope the very best for, and I hope that they can get their stuff together and so that they can just feel that peace and that love and safety that NayVee feels now, not being around all of the drugs and the scary things. And so, oh, that was a deep one. Oh my gosh. We didn't mean to be so crying, but this is a more recent one, and so all the emotions are just right here. But we love you, Nen Fam, and so we're sharing our hearts with you, and we hope that you can see what an amazing thing adoption is. And I don't know, I love you all out there, and I love this girl. I love you, NayVee. Whew, that was hard. All right, you get to do the outro, because I'm busy crying.
Thanks you guys for watching this video. Make sure you guys subscribe down below, hit the notification bell, and give this video a big thumbs up. And make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Love you all.